Do you hear that? That's the sound of ordinary people sleeping through their own lives. But you, oh, you beautiful chaos, you stopped snoring. You woke up. And when you did, someone noticed. Not the mailman, not your therapist, not your ex who still texts at 2 a.m. Them, the shadow watchers who catalog the dangerous ones. The puppet masters who pull strings you didn't even know existed. They don't send recruitment letters to sheep, darling. They only knock when the wolf has learned to walk upright. When did it happen for you? Was it the moment you realized your boss was an intellectual peasant? Or when you caught your friends recycling the same conversations like broken records? Maybe it was simpler. Maybe it was the day you looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the predator staring back. That's when they started your file. Classified. Subject exhibits pattern recognition beyond normal parameters. They write reports about minds like ours. We're not just thinking differently, we're thinking dimensionally. While everyone else plays checkers with their little hopes and dreams, we're playing chess with reality itself. We see the moves 3 steps ahead. We read micro-expressions like morning newspapers. We smell fear before it even knows it's afraid. But here's the joke. The beautiful twisted joke. They think they discovered you. They think their algorithms caught your psychological signature. They think their surveillance flagged your unusual behavior patterns. Poor, deluded puppet masters. They don't realize the truth. You weren't hiding from them, you were hunting them. Every calculated move you made, every strategic silence, every perfectly timed revelation of your true nature. You became unreadable not by accident, but by design. While they were building profiles, you were building personas. While they were tracking patterns, you were breaking them. You turned unpredictability into an art form, chaos into a weapon, and silence into the most terrifying sound they'd ever heard. The CIA didn't find you, sweetheart. You let them find you. And that is what makes you truly dangerous. Tick, tick. That's not a clock, darling. That's the sound of their computers overheating, trying to categorize you. File folder after file folder. Psychological assessments, behavioral predictions, risk evaluations. They built a digital monument to your beautiful, chaotic mind. And oh, the delicious irony. Every algorithm they ran, every pattern they tried to map, every box they attempted to squeeze you into, it all came back with the same error message. Subject does not compete. While Johnny Cubicle scrolls through his feed like a digital zombie, you've been dissecting the matrix itself. While Karen from accounting argues about which reality TV show is real, you've been reverse engineering the very concept of reality. They noticed, didn't they? The way you see through their social programming like it's made of tissue paper. The way you decode their emotional manipulation tactics before they even deploy them. The way you predict their next move while they're still pretending to be spontaneous. Classified assessment? Subject exhibits pattern recognition beyond normal parameters. Listen to them trying to sound scientific about your supernatural abilities. Emotional detachment bordering on supernatural. They can't comprehend that you're not detached. You're strategically positioned. You don't lack emotion, you weaponize it. You don't avoid feelings, you deploy them like precision strike. Every tear you choose not to cry. Every rage you convert to rocket fuel. Every heartbreak you transform into hardened steel. But here's what really terrifies them. Here's what keeps them awake at night. You don't fit their programming because you've transcended it entirely. While they're still trying to control minds, you've evolved beyond the need to be controlled. You're not rebelling against their system. Rebellion implies you still recognize their authority. No, no. You've done something far more dangerous. You've become indifferent to their power. You've built your own operating system. Their psychological profile reads like a love letter to your evolution. Strategic thinking that cuts through manipulation like a blade through silk. Oh, they are terrified of minds like ours. We don't just see their tricks. We see the magician behind the curtain counting his coins. We don't just recognize their patterns. We predict their next 3 moves before they make them. We're not playing their game anymore, beautiful chaos. We're playing a game they don't even know exists. Look around. Do you see them? The walking dead, the breathing corpses, the smartphone zombies shuffling through their digital prison, believing they're free because they can choose between 17 different coffee flavors. They gave you a glowing rectangle and whispered, "This is freedom." You believed them until you didn't. Until that beautiful, terrible moment when the spell broke and you saw the cage for what it really was. A golden cage, a comfortable cage, but still a cage. Welcome to level 0 consciousness, darling. Population 99.999% of humanity. Permanent residents of someone else's reality show. They think choosing between Netflix and Hulu is free will. They think having opinions about politicians makes them intellectuals. They think working overtime will save their souls. Ha ha ha. They're debating which brand of chains feels more comfortable around their necks. They're arguing about which flavor of slavery tastes better, and they call it choice. But you? Oh, you magnificent disaster. You used to live there too, remember? Remember when you thought the morning commute was just life? When you believed their promises about retirement dreams and weekend freedoms? When you actually cared about their approval ratings and social media likes? That was your level 0 existence. That was your digital detention center. That was your psychological penitentiary with Wi-Fi and free coffee. Then something beautiful happened. Something cracked. Not broke, cracked. Like an egg. Like a cocoon. Like a prison wall finally giving way to the pressure building inside. The pain hit you like a freight train, didn't it? The realization that everything you'd been taught was a lie. Every dream they sold you was a distraction. Every goal they gave you was a leash. The Matrix didn't glitch. You glitched out of the Matrix. That wasn't a breakdown. Beautiful chaos. That was a breakthrough. That agony you felt when you realized how programmed you were, that wasn't depression. That was labor pain. You weren't falling apart. You were being born. The old you was dying so the real you could finally breathe. And oh, how it hurt to realize that everything you'd accepted as normal was actually psychological warfare. But that pain, that beautiful, terrible pain, that was the sound of your chains breaking. Blood on your hands. Not the red kind, darling. The invisible kind. The kind that stains your soul when you commit the most necessary murder of all. Do you remember the exact moment? The precise second when you looked in the mirror and decided that pathetic, pleading creature staring back at you had to die? When you realized that seeking their approval was spiritual suicide? When you understood that explaining yourself was just begging with extra words? That day, oh, that glorious glorious day when you stopped mid-sentence, mid-expolology, mid-explanation. You were probably defending some decision to someone who had no right to judge it. Some friend, some family member, some random stranger with opinions about your life. And suddenly, click, the switch flipped. The old you, that people-pleasing, validation-seeking, comfort-addicted weakling, had to go. Not reformed, not improved, eliminated. This wasn't therapy, beautiful chaos. This wasn't self-help seminar transformation. This was a hit job, a psychological assassination carried out by your own hands. You grabbed that former version of yourself by the throat and whispered, "Your services are no longer required." No mercy. No second chances. No gentle transition period. You executed your weakest operative with the cold precision of a professional killer. Bang. One shot. Clean kill. The funeral was private, wasn't it? No mourners, no flowers, no eulogies for the person who used to care what everyone thought, who used to apologize for existing, who used to dim their own light so others wouldn't feel blind. You buried that creature so deep that sometimes you forget they ever existed. But late at night, you can still feel their ghost trying to crawl back, still hear their weak voice whispering, "Maybe we should explain ourselves. Maybe we should seek approval." Never again. You didn't just change, darling. You executed a psychological coup. You overthrew the government of your own mind. The person you were before would be terrified of who you've become. They'd call you cold, heartless, ruthless. Good. Let them be afraid. Let them whisper warnings about what you've become. Because what you've become is free. And freedom, beautiful chaos, always looks like cruelty to those still wearing chains. Cold as winter, hot as hell. That's the temperature range of your new emotional thermostat, isn't it? They taught you that caring too much was noble. They fed you fairy tales about wearing your heart on your sleeve. They convinced you that emotional vulnerability was strength. They lied. Beautiful chaos. They programmed you to be an emotional suicide bomber, walking into every interaction ready to detonate your feelings all over everyone else. How convenient for them. But you learned the truth, didn't you? Real emotional intelligence isn't about feeling everything. It's about feeling nothing when it serves you, and everything when it advances your mission. You've become a psychological shapeshifter, an emotional chameleon. You don't have feelings anymore. You deploy them, like weapons, like chess pieces, like precision instruments designed for maximum impact. Empathy? That's not a weakness now. That's your superpower. Watch them in meetings, watch them on dates, watch them in arguments. They're so predictable. Their emotions leak everywhere like broken faucets. Their insecurities flash like neon signs. Their desires scream louder than fire alarms. And you sit there like a beautiful statue, absorbing it all, cataloging their weaknesses, mapping their psychological terrain. You let them believe they're reading you while you're rewriting them. The most dangerous person in any room, the most dangerous person, is the one who appears to care the least but understands everyone the most. That's you now, isn't it? You've mastered the art of strategic caring, calculated compassion, weaponized warmth. You can make someone feel like the center of the universe or completely invisible, and they'll never know it was a choice. They think it's natural chemistry. You know it's psychological warfare. They call you cold now, don't they? Your old friends, your family, the people who benefited from your emotional generosity. You've changed, they whisper. You're not the same person. Of course not. The same person was their puppet, their emotional ATM, their personal therapist. But this version, this beautifully dangerous version, this version doesn't dance to their emotional music. This version conducts the entire orchestra, and the symphony you're creating, oh, the symphony. School was a joke, wasn't it? While little Johnny was memorizing multiplication tables, you were calculating the exact moment his confidence would crack. While Sally was learning about the Revolutionary War, you were studying the civil wars raging inside every adult around you. They gave you textbooks. You gave yourself a different education, a shadow curriculum that no university offers, masterclass in human nature that no professor could teach. Your real classroom was everywhere they weren't looking, in the spaces between words during dinner conversations, in the micro-expressions that flashed across faces for 1/10 of a second, in the way voices changed when certain topics came up, in the patterns of human desperation that play out in every grocery store, every office, every family gathering. Every single interaction became a lesson in psychological warfare. Every betrayal became a case study. Every disappointment became data. You became fluent in the language of power that they don't teach in any school, the language of silence, the language of strategic vulnerability, the language of calculated revelation. You learned to read the room before you even entered it, to sense the emotional weather patterns swirling around groups of people, to predict which relationships would implode before the participants even realized they were incompatible. Advanced psychological operations. That's what you were conducting. And you didn't even know it had a name. But here's where it gets really dangerous. Beautiful chaos. You don't just read people anymore. You read their futures. You can look at someone and see not just who they are, but who they'll become, the decisions they'll make next week, the fears that will control them next year, the patterns they'll repeat until they die. You've become a psychological fortune teller, a legend of human weakness, a crystal ball made of flesh and blood and brilliant, terrible insight. They never saw you coming because they were too busy looking at their phones, too busy believing their own lies, too busy playing their little games of pretend, while they were getting degrees in subjects that don't matter. You were getting a PhD in the only subject that does, human nature. And now you're the professor, and the world is your classroom. And everyone in it is your student, whether they know it or not. Invisible. That's your superpower now, isn't it? Not the comic book kind where you disappear, the real kind, the dangerous kind, where you hide in plain sight like a psychological ghost. You learn the most classified skill of all, invisibility through normality. While the amateurs are posting their breakfast on social media, you're having conversations that reshape entire social circles. While they're screaming for attention, you're commanding it without saying a word. The greatest magicians perform their tricks in broad daylight, beautiful chaos. And you're the greatest magician of all. Your stage is every coffee shop, every office, every dinner party. Your audience never realizes they're watching a performance. They think they're just living. But every word you choose, every silence you deploy, every micro-expression you allow them to see, it's all calculated. It's all choreographed. It's all part of the show they don't even know they're attending. You dress like them, you laugh at their jokes, you nod at their opinions, but underneath, you're running psychological reconnaissance missions, gathering intelligence, mapping their emotional territories. They see a friendly face, you see a chessboard. They think you're one of them. You know better. You're not playing their game. You're playing a game so advanced they can't even see the board. True power whispers, doesn't it? Only weakness needs to shout. While they're posting motivational quotes and flexing their gym selfies, you're moving pieces on boards they can't even perceive. While they're demanding respect through loud voices and aggressive gestures, you're commanding it through strategic silence and calculated presence. They think power looks like a peacock spreading its feathers. You know power looks like a predator waiting in tall grass. Your influence spreads like smoke, invisible, untraceable, undeniable. People change their minds after talking to you and don't remember why. They make decisions that benefit you without realizing the idea came from your carefully planted seeds. They trust you with secrets they wouldn't tell their therapists. They seek your approval without understanding why your opinion matters so much. That's not friendship, darling. That's psychological architecture. And you're the master architect of minds they don't even realize they've surrendered. Lone wolves die. Beautiful, dramatic, heroic deaths. But they still die. Alone, cold, forgotten. You learned this truth the hard way, didn't you? When you tried to conquer the world with nothing but your brilliant mind and your beautiful rage. When you thought independence meant isolation. When you believed that needing nobody made you powerful. Ha ha. How deliciously naive you were. How perfectly amateur. But then you evolved. You realized that apex predators don't hunt alone. They build ecosystems, food chains, hierarchies, networks of strategic relationships where every connection serves a purpose, and every purpose serves your larger mission. You stopped collecting friends and started acquiring assets. Not people to drink coffee with, people to accomplish goals through. Not shoulders to cry on, levers to pull. Look at your circle now. Really look at it. That charming colleague who always knows the office gossip. Intelligence operative. That social butterfly friend who knows everyone at every party. Recruitment specialist. That reliable acquaintance who remembers everyone's birthdays and personal details. Data collection expert. They think they're just being nice. You know they're building your empire, one connection at a time. And the beautiful part? They have no idea they're working for you. Your influence isn't measured by bicep curls or bank accounts anymore, is it? It's measured by what you can get done through others. The phone call you don't have to make because someone else already made it. The door that opens before